Royce. Daniel Malen! Wonderful!
Fantastic from Royce. Jude Bellingham, that's excellent. Jude Bellingham, this is absolutely brilliant. Jude Bellingham! Absolutely magnificent.
Reina, brilliant from the American. Just like that.
Best of clearances. Oh, what a volley! Mats Hummels!
Brandt in for Haaland! Like he's never been away! The man in front of goal who is simply deadly.
Hey, welcome back to the BVB podcast. My name's Jake, joined as always by Carver. How are you doing, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well. The Champions League is back. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited for the Champions League. In our season preview, it's like, let's get a good Champions League run going. Let's do it. And now we finally have the draw. So we have in our Champions League schedule, so we know exactly who we're playing in Group G. Do you want to run through it? You want me to just run through it?
Sure, I got it. We have Copenhagen, Sevilla, and Man City in our group, which is it's going to be tough. I feel like the fan base is kind of split between like feeling pretty decent, pretty confident, and then also others that think we're going to struggle. I guess I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, it's going to be a lot tougher than people think. I mean, none of these games are going to be easy, especially with the schedule that we were given. I mean, it's doable to qualify, but we have Copenhagen at home, which is going to be, just fun for everyone because it's going to be two great atmospheres coming together. It's going to be probably, I imagine, really entertaining game. But then you have City away and Sevilla away after that, which, City's just going to be, I feel like, a smash and grab. Very difficult game at one of the best teams in the world at their own stadium. And then you have Sevilla as well, which we played them a few years back, and they're incredibly tough to break down and also very, very chippy as well. So it's going to be tough, but I feel like it's doable.
Yeah, I know that they do the drawing because I watched it. I've watched it multiple times. The drawing with the balls, and they spin them around, and then the guy opens it up, and it's all very. But man, come on, they set this stuff up. They put Barcelona and Bayern, the Lewandowski derby, in one pool, and then us and Holland. Like, are you kidding me? Like they plan this.
Yeah, what are the odds of us getting Holland just the very next season, man? Too. I mean, and. I just hated City even more after the last time we played them, and I feel like should have went through. We had a few things gone our way, which, they're going back to the foul against Jude when we were at City, which clearly wasn't a foul. It was just piss poor passing by City at the back, and then also not having Sancho for either leg. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to come back and actually play against him again. But this time we have a whole new beast to be defending against. Yeah. Do you think he's going to score a bunch against us?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. I think he'll probably put one. So is our first City game, is that away or home? It is going to be cool to see Holland.
It's going to be away.
At home, though. That is going to be cool, and it's going to be interesting to see the reception. I hope he gets a good reception. I mean, we don't have to.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he will. I mean, depending on how he wants to, I guess, treat the fan base when he returns. I can't imagine him celebrating or anything like that, but I feel like in the two legs we play against City, Holland gets 1 goal minimum, maybe 2, but I don't think he gets a lot. I think we're going to really focus on, again, we know how he plays as a striker, and I feel like Schlotterbeck can do a really good job of man marking him or just keeping him in his pocket.
Yeah.
And if we continue just growing in that defensive stability and over the next month or so, which, we have at least 4 or so 5 weeks until we play City. So it's just how we're going to move forward.
Yeah. So we do have Copenhagen coming up on September 6th, which is fairly soon. Really soon, actually. I'm glad that's the first game. I don't want to make it sound like, I'm glad we get the easy run, because we can't go in and underestimate them. They're the easier team in the group. Like, that's the team who we definitely should be beating, but doesn't mean it's going to be an easy game, especially if we go into it. I mean, we saw what happened against Werder Bremen. So if we don't go into it prepared and we're not like playing at our best, then we could drop that game like super early. And that's just going to be a tough game too, home and away. So hopefully, I don't know. I have mixed feelings too, as you said. Like, I'm not necessarily confident, just seeing how we've been playing so far. I know it's early, but this game's coming up quick, and I just feel like we really need to get our shit together to have a good run and play well. I'd kind of see us. I don't know if I see Dortmund at the time being at the same level as some of these top teams in the Champions League. Like, I don't know if I see us there. I see us almost like a tier below when you see how I mean, I know Bayern just drew against Gladbach, but it seems like there's another echelon that we're not quite at yet, and that concerns me.
I get what you're saying. I mean, as a consistent, I guess, if you were to group those clubs together, we probably would be in that second tier. But I'd also argue when we are on our day, we can beat anyone in Europe, and I definitely stand by that.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's a matter of how well we're going to gel together and the game plans we're going to try to write up these next 2 weeks. And I'm sorry, I said like 4 weeks a few minutes ago, but I was confusing that with Sevilla. We have Sevilla in 4 weeks, and we have City in like 2 weeks. So we have, I think, 2 Bundesliga games and the Champions League game before that. So we have a lot of football to play before we go and actually meet against City. So
yeah,
it looks like we're clicking in some different areas. I mentioned in the previous episode that we were able to get Modeste more involved, which is critical to our attack. So if we can continue to get him even more involved and Ozcan can continue to grow into the game at this club, I think we can challenge pretty much every team here in this group.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of work to do in the next couple weeks, and I wish we had more than 2 weeks to figure it out. Or 1 week, I guess. September 6th. That's like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So we have like one game between now and then, but
at least we start and end the group stage with the best possible scenarios. So we have Copenhagen at home to start off with the group stage. And then towards the end, you have Copenhagen again, which, I mean, it'll be away, but I'd rather play them at the end and have fate in our hands rather than playing against City or Sevilla.
Yeah. It also concerns me injuries, because we're still like, who is healthy and yeah, it's like, who's going to be there? And do you have looking at September 6th, Copenhagen, and I guess this kind of goes along with this weekend too. Do you have a starting preference? And do you think we're going to need to rotate a lot with the games coming with two games a week? How do you see our rotation looking maybe?
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of rotation. And right now with injuries, it looks like we don't really have the depth that we thought we were going to have earlier this summer. I mean, the summer hype is already getting a real reality check only a few weeks in. But, I mean, hopefully if all goes well every injury you can look at right now, it's been quote unquote a week or two for the last month. So if that rings any sort of truth in the next, 10 or 11 days, hopefully we can have close to a full healthy squad here, which if that's the case, I'd probably line up the way we've been lining up against Berlin. I put Ozcan in there, and at the moment, he just brings a lot of great qualities to this team. So if Dahoud is not ready to go, I put Ozcan in there easily. But if so, I guess it just depends how both of them perform. Other than that, pretty much the same. I mean, Adeyemi is going to be in there. Hopefully, Reina gets a lot of minutes as well. Or any thoughts you have?
It'll be. I talked about this in the last episode, but the Meunier versus Wolf. I don't know who tops it there, but I don't know. It depends on the day, I guess, who would be best in that position. Because I don't think either of them have really grabbed it or secured that spot for sure, which is why we've seen the back and forth, or why we've seen Wolf getting some starts. So, and I think that mystery also is what worries me a bit, because I'm like, who's our best? I don't feel like we've found the best in every position yet, and that's.
But Terzic hasn't found his starting 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd probably agree with that too. But it's kind of selecting themselves almost to at least 10 or so out of the 11 players. But yeah, one can just hope for the best of luck for these injuries for these next few weeks or so.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be getting a lot more firepower going forward.
So, okay, of course, Copenhagen is the first Champions League game on September 6th. Then, like you said, we're away at Man City. Sevilla. What are your thoughts on Sevilla? I know we were just looking into them a little bit. It's like they played. They're always a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their table standings right now, they're not great, but it's early. They've lost like 2 already. Maybe more than that if I look at their full schedule. I don't know. But they're a Champions League team. They're usually in and around it.
Yeah, I mean, they've also, I mean, they made some decent signings this summer. You could look at Isco, which I thought he was one of the more underrated players at Real Madrid. And I mean, until he just, I guess, accepted being a player who wasn't going to play these last few years. But I do think he's got some talent. Of course, you have Eric Lamela too, who's looked like he's been doing relatively well in the Spanish division for his first few months. But I mean, in general, Sevilla, our team, they could be really tough to break down. And again, they're really chippy too. They don't give anything away. Both games against Sevilla, when we played them a few years back, were really difficult. And we played really well and we were able to get ourselves out of them. But a team that should not ever be underestimated.
Do you think our preseason games against other La Liga teams is any like concern in this game, or you like write that off because it was preseason? Or
I do, yeah, I write those off.
Yeah,
I mean, even against Bremen just 2 weeks ago now. I mean, there are mistakes that Terzic looks like he really has learned from, and it's just a learning phase for a manager like him, and also with a lot of the new players coming in, they have time, or they need time to gel and come together.
Do you want to do game predictions if we run through our Champions League games, or is it too early to call predictions? We can get into all that later.
I'll say I think we can. I don't know how it's going to end up. It really only time will tell. But I think we've made some improvements, a lot of improvements against Bremen, and there's still a lot to improve on. But if we can, come out and perform well these next 2 weeks or so, I think we can come out and beat Copenhagen at home and set ourselves up in a good position early on in the group stage. That's what I'll say. Yeah,
I think we're going to win versus Copenhagen, and that's, again, I'm glad that's where we're starting. And that'll also give us if we can win that game and win it like in good fashion, that can give us a big confidence boost too, especially winning. Just playing a midweek game, and if we can perform well, then I think that helps us overall in our Bundesliga season too. But again, I just feel like we just a lot Terzic needs to put together. I think we're getting there. I think the improvement we saw in the Hertha game looked much better than Werder Bremen. So if we can keep that momentum going, then I think we should be we're in a good place. So hopefully,
yeah. What I could go into more detail on is the game this weekend against Hoffenheim. So,
yeah, we didn't preview that last episode, so we can start to preview Hoffenheim, which is Friday. We got another Friday night football game, which I don't like so much. It's exciting to say like Friday football is exciting, but not when I'm not done with work. Yeah, I'm like halfway watching the game, and then Saturday morning I don't have as much to look forward to.
I agree with all of that. I'm gonna have to record this and maybe even watch it Saturday morning. I'm not sure yet, but at home versus Hoffenheim, who's won their last 3 games in a row. They started the season losing against Gladbach, but then they came back and they beat Bochum, which Bochum, they looked pretty solid last year. They're struggling this year, but they beat Bochum, came out and thrashed Leverkusen, and then just beat Augsburg this weekend, which all 3 of those opponents are not easy. And, looks like they've got a pretty decent system they've been working on this year with the 3-5-2 up top. They got an Angelino instead of, I know David Raum left. So they have Angelino to provide them that attack on the width, on the wide areas. And then up top, you have 2 solid options of Kramaric and Rutter, who's, I mean, he was dangerous in the air against us last time. I remember when we were away at Hoffenheim. So it's going to be tough. Do you have any other thoughts or anything? Or
no, it'll be if we get Modeste involved, and can really work that attack through him, and I want to say around him, and I don't mean that like not working with him, but get the ball moving in those spaces outside to be able to work around and into him. If we can really get him involved, then I think we should be good. I I'm going to predict like a 2-1 win. I'm not going clean sheet this time. I'm feeling 2-1. I feel like it'll be another tight game. God, Werder Bremen was terrible, but I almost enjoy, I said this a lot last season where I like to be able to grind out wins because that's what we saw, like full on collapses, or we just like ran with games and there was like no in between. So I almost like the like grinding out a result because it's a lot of work and it shows a lot of heart in the team if they can pull through and hold together. And we couldn't against Werder Bremen, but we did against Hertha. And so I think this is going to be a tight match where we get the 2-1 win. I don't have like a lineup prediction because I don't know who's going to be available, but I would guess Adeyemi, probably exactly what we've seen.
Yeah.
Adeyemi, Brandt, Royce, Modeste up top, Oshane, Bellingham.
I hope Wolf is going to be able to come back and help on defense because, again, Angelino is going to be up really, really high, and he's going to be whipping in a lot of crosses to both of Hoffenheim's attacking forwards, who can both be dangerous in the air. So for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I imagine Terry's going to take into that account. They're probably going to attack similarly of Werder Bremen as well. I mean, they were running that back three system as well. So it's just how are we going to respond and also continue to build on the foundation that looks like we're starting to really discover against Berlin.
Yep. All right. So Dortmund versus, it's home game, right? Dortmund at home versus, I'm seeing blue in my head and I want to say Hertha Berlin, but it's not. It's Hoffenheim. This is still recovering from COVID brain. So Hoffenheim, Friday football. And we just wanted to give you, I know this is a little shorter episode, but we want to give you a quick Champions League update since we got that draw and we weren't able to get to that yet. So if you have any Champions League questions or questions going into this game, reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram at thebvbpod. You can email us, thebvbpod@gmail.com. You can find every way to contact us, episodes and more on our website too, thebvbpodcast.com. So it's pretty stationary all around wherever you want to find us. Carver, you have anything else?
I do not.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out. We will see you after the Hoffenheim game.
All righty. See you.